Welcome back to the Big Grand Show. Thank you for joining me. Imagine, if you will, you're the parent of a 6-year-old child who happens to be ADHD. And then imagine that child is taken from school and locked away for 48 hours with no contact for you or any of your family. Imagine that has been happening to your child. Then realize that this actually happened to a 6-year-old child in Florida. 6-year-old Nadia is ADHD. On top of that, she has a mood disorder. Her mom says she's just not able to communicate well because of her disability. And that sometimes she can really only tell you bits and pieces of what's going on in her head. So she's not really 100% verbal. She's not in a really good space. But what happened to this little child is beyond pathetic. It's beyond disturbing. And I believe some people should lose their jobs over it. Now let me give you the story about 6-year-old Nadia. She was at school last week. And apparently she had a tantrum. Now, according to the school, she was attacking staff and destroying property. Now, I understand that kids throw tantrums all the time. But really? Attacking staff? Now, how is it possible that an adult could not handle a 6-year-old child? How is it even possible? 6-year-olds, it's not like they're the Incredible Hulk. But there are ways of dealing with people that are ADHD and have other issues besides losing your mind over it and calling the police. Her mom, I believe it's, Martina Falk, was called by the Duval County Public Schools in Florida and told your child was just Baker acted. Sorry, there's nothing else we can do. Now, the school has gone on to say that it wasn't their decision, but it was the social worker's decision. But wait a minute. Why wasn't the mother notified of what was going on with her child? Shouldn't the parent have been the first person called, not social work? The first person in that situation that should be notified should be the mother, the father, or whoever is the legal guardian of that child. And then if the parent either can't get there in a timely manner, or if the parent can't calm the child down, then call the social worker. But that's not what happened at this school. This child was escorted out by police because a social worker decided to use the Baker Act. The Baker Act is an act that allows for the involuntary confinement and evaluation of somebody with a mental illness who is a threat to themselves or others. I just really don't believe a 6-year-old is a threat to adults. Now, if she was there terrorizing the other kids, then maybe there's a problem. But from the article is she was attacking staff and destroying property. Really? You can't control a 6-year-old? Maybe you need to consider a new line of work. And the officer that took her out, you can hear on the body cam, you hear the little girl ask, "Am I going to jail?" And the deputy has to say, no, you're not going to jail. And then she responds to another officer who shows up on the scene, saying she's very pleasant. She is quoted from the body cam footage as saying, Well, the other deputy replies to her saying she's very pleasant, and the other officer there replies, "I think it's more of them just not knowing how to deal with it." And I think they're onto something there. The fact is, this is a school environment. There's children with ADHD, ADD, all sorts of mood disorders, all sorts of psychological things in the world. You need to be able to at least have one person on your staff that can handle that, that knows how to deal with a child dealing with that situation. But apparently, this school had nobody that even cared to listen to the child. They just automatically said she was attacking staff, destroying property, and called a social worker. 6-year-old Nadia was locked away in an isolation room for 48 hours. 48 hours. Couldn't even see her mother from what I've read. I just don't understand. How is it possibly okay for this to be going on? You know, when I was a kid, you didn't call the police when a kid acted up in the classroom. You didn't call for social services when a kid backtalked or had it through a tantrum at school. You contacted their parents, and their parents took care of it. I should know. I had a few of them when I was 6, 7 years old. But the way they're handling stuff nowadays, it's just wrong. And I can't support it at all. Anyways, if you're a parent, not a parent, but definitely if you're a parent, let me know down in the comments what you think about what happened to 6-year-old Nadia. How would you respond if this happened to one of your young children? Would you be mad that you were not contacted first? Would you be mad that they jumped straight to a social worker who enacted some act on your child that locked your child away for 48 hours from you? You know, sometimes all a child needs that's in that situation is a bit of loving, a little loving. And sometimes a mother is that person. They might have been able to call the mother first. Maybe they could have put the girl on the phone with her mother. Maybe her mother could have calmed her down. They don't know. They didn't even bother to try. They just went straight to the most extreme thing they could possibly do. And it's wrong. Anyways, this has been the Big Ranch Show. I've been your host, Jacob Keck. I'll see you down the road.